Okay, you've heard a lot about excuse me, Plan Z already, and I want to tell you that there are other plans out there that the people have come up with, all the way from Alabama Policy Institute, which has been one of our stalwarts of conservative think tanks in Alabama ever since Gary Palmer, I guess, was one of the founding members, and everybody knows Gary Palmer is one of our congressmen now, one of our most conservative congressmen. But they've been a stalwart think tank, and it's typical with research papers. It's long and wordy and seems complex, but the basics, if you'll take the time to read it, are really good. Go on their website, you can see that. Amazingly, they agree with Jim on a lot of the points. Their points are, they're explained a little bit different way, but they're very similar. Alabama Forestry Association is another one that's taken a lead with their own plan. I've got their latest version of theirs here, along with a poll that they ran last week, I believe it was 605 Alabamians scattered across the state, proportioned by population in the Senate the various Senate districts. And they some really eye-opening stuff in there about how the Alabama forestry members, and this is kind of slanted because these people have a vested interest in good roads and bridges. For Alabama Forestry Association, it's Alabama foresters, including me. My wife and I own timberland, and that's the biggest part of our retirement is timber property. So we're vitally interested in that. And the big issue there is we've got bridge problems more than anything else that probably, I think in Elmore County alone, there's 27, I believe it is, restricted bridges that we can't cross with our loads of pulpwood or timber. That carries over. It's not just pulp and timber that has that problem either. It's school buses. Melanie, you know that, wherever Melanie went. They have, oh, there she is, I'm still in the front row. But you have, I don't know if on your route you have it, but you have bridges that your school buses can't cross. So that's a social burden on families that have to get their children up maybe an hour and a half early to ride a bus around the bridges. So that's an inconvenience, and it's cost for the county to carry the extra miles for those. So that's a key thing too. It's important that we've got needs, and foresters, the timber owners are vitally interested in updating those bridges particularly, but also the roads so that they can get their product. And I've got to tell you, in Elmore County, our gross domestic product, guess what are the two biggest things in there? Forestry is number one, agriculture is number two. That's our biggest dollar income in Elmore County. So those people are important to us. So we need to listen to them and when they speak. And I'll be glad. I'm not going to try to go into detail with what theirs are. Jim is right. He and I have talked several times during the birthing and nurturing of his Plan Z, and he has picked up a couple of my suggestions from 5 or 6 weeks ago, and I'm proud of that. I haven't written one myself, but I had a lot of ideas going in, and so far, all of them but one or two, I think, have been picked up. The one that Clyde talked about in the crowd, I haven't read your bill yet, but I'm very pleased and I'm anxious to read it. But one of the biggest things we got to do is establish some transparency and teeth in a committee that knows what they're doing. These have to be informed people, and I don't know what your structure is, but I'm sure it's in the detail, but we need to have people that know the industry, the paving, the construction industry, engineers, as well as lawmakers on that committee, somebody from the executive, all those. But they need to have real responsibilities, as you said, regular meetings, not optional, and I like all that language in there. So that to me is to get any kind of trust. One of the biggest truths that Jim has already said, and a couple of others asking questions here have already said, virtually nobody in the state of Alabama trusts ALDOT. They trust them almost less than they do legislators, and that's pretty low trust level, and I understand that it's their tax money that's been misused, and it's notorious with ALDOT. We've seen misspending money like. The big Taj Mahal up in Ellick City up there that all of us have seen. And they're all over the state and the regional offices like that where they spent millions and millions of dollars. Instead of on road paving and on bridges, they spend it on buildings. So those are the kind of things we're looking at. I think we've got to continue this discussion. I think that the governor, the executive branch are listening. I think they know if they don't listen, they're not going to have much chance of getting this passed because there is no trust of ALDOT, mainly.